Alright guys, we're working on page 120 in our math book. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and zoom that in. There we go. Problem 1, label each mark of the number line with the appropriate fraction below. So we're dealing with a different section now. A lot of times we've been dealing with 0 to 1. Now we're dealing with 1 to 2. These lines are marked, but they're not equally distant, which shows me that they represent different things. If I look here, from 1 to 2, the halfway mark is here. So this would be, so 1 over 1 would be 2 over 2. And I know that if I go to this half mark and count another half, this would be 3 over 2. And then this would make it 4 over 2, which will then allow me to place my 3 over 2 right here. So it is now marked. Now I have my 4 and 1/3. So if I think about this as the whole, I know that if this were a whole, or this is a whole and the denominator was 3, it would be the same as 3 over 3. So then I can look at this next tick mark here. This would be 4 over 3. This would be 5 over 3. And this would be 6 over 3. So there's my 4/3 right there. Okay. Another way to look at this is now I have 7/4. Okay. So I know that fourths should be labeled here, so I'm just going to go ahead and label that. Again, if this whole were to have a denominator 4, it would be 4 over 4. So now I'm going to go ahead and segment this. This one would be 5/4. Then this is another fourth, 6/4, and now here's our 7/4 right there. Now it says write a mixed number for 4 1/3 as a mixed number. So here's 4 1/3. Well, 4 1/3 is one whole, and it's the next third. So it's 1 1/3, and I could check that with some division. I'll take my numerator, make that my dividend. My denominator is my divisor. 3 goes into 4 one time, and 1 times 3 is 3. Then I go ahead and subtract, and I have 1 left over, which I will report as a remainder. My remainder I'll report as a numerator, and then my divisor is my denominator. My denominator stays the same. Make an estimate, then use the U.S. traditional method to multiply. I have 875 multiplied by 130. So this is really close to 900, and this is close to 100. So 900 times 100 would be 1 times 9. Added 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. My answer could be in the ballpark of 90,000, which also means it could be close to 100,000. So I like on these problems to just go ahead and do them so that I don't get confused. So let's go ahead with the process. 2 times 5 is 0. Regroup that 1. 2 times 4 is 15 plus the 1. Sorry, 2 times 4 is, oh my goodness, 2 times 7 is 14 plus the 1 is 15. Regroup the 1. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 1 is 17. Now this 3 is not 3, it's 30, so I need a placeholder 0. 3 times 5 is 15, the 5 goes here, the 1 goes up here. 3 times 7 is 21, plus another 1 is 22. The 2 here, the 2 here. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 2 more is 26. Now this 1 is in the hundreds place, and 100 has 2 zeros, so I need placeholder 0 and placeholder 0. Now I would just multiply like regular. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 8 is 8. Now I'll add up with, and I need to remember to regroup. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. 4 here, 1 here. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 6 is 8, plus 7 is 13. Regroup that 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 8 is 11. So my answer is 113,400. That's kind of close to 90,000. Dawn wants to plant vegetables and herbs in her garden. If she plants herbs in 1/3 of the garden, how much of the garden is left for vegetables? Well, if I had a whole garden, my denominator would be 8, or my fraction would be 8/8, because that's 1. That's the whole garden. But she plants 3/8 of it is herbs. So I'm going to take 8/8 minus 3/8, and that's going to tell me H for herbs. So how much of her garden is left for vegetables? 5/8 of her garden is left for vegetables, the rest of it. Now I have some more fraction ofs. 1/3 of 24. All I'm going to do is multiply, which would be 24 thirds, but that's improper. So I'm going to divide. How many 3's are in 24? There's 8. I'll subtract, so I'm left with 8. So my real answer here is 8. Then I have 1/4 times 24. Well, that would be 24/4, but that's improper, so I'm going to divide again. 24 divided by 4, and that gives me 6, and that goes in evenly, so that's nice and handy. So that whole number is 6. Then I have 1/6 of 24. If I were to multiply that, I'd get 24/6, but that's not done because that's improper. 6 goes into 24 4 times. So make sure that you're writing in the whole number and explain how you solve for C. I'm not going to do any of that explaining. That one is up to you. I went through the steps. So if you're having trouble explaining, back up the video a few times and rewatch and think about what did I do that you could put into work.